I found out this week that if you really want to get MAGA's panties in a bind, just remind them that Charlie Kirk was built by the same dark money networks that they all claim to hate. Like everything else here in American politics, it becomes a tale of two parties. It was the worst of times. It was somehow even worse of times.
A wise guy, eh?
Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, and today is September 27th, 2025. I know that opening will go right over the heads of folks who should probably get more familiar with Charles Dickens. But hey, you can lead a horse to water, but you just can't improve their reading comprehension beyond the 6th grade. Meanwhile, conservatives are scrambling to invent a reason, any reason, for the civil war in which they plan on watching from a safe distance. And the economic chickens are starting to come home to roost. Unfortunately, they look more like buzzards than they do poultry. According to the USDA's food price outlook, all food prices are up by 3%. Groceries are up by 2.7%. Restaurants and food services are up by almost 4%. And beef is extraordinarily high. Eggs are up 11% year over year. Now, we could do the lazy thing and blame Trump for everything, the same way that MAGA blamed Biden for egg prices, as if he was out there laying the eggs and slapping the price tags on himself. But that would be dishonest. Energy, labor, global markets, climate change, disease outbreaks, all of it plays a role. Tariffs matter too, but they're not the whole story. And here's the ugly truth. Under either party, your prices are not going to go back down. Now let's talk about energy prices, because this one is huge. It's why I invested in solar panels for my home. Fuel costs don't just show up at the pump, they show up on your grocery bill. As of late September, US diesel is about $3.75 a gallon, and that's 21 cents higher than last year. Every truck, every refrigerated rail car, every ship runs on that fuel. So when diesel rises, grocery costs follow within weeks. But there is a more insidious factor most people do not consider. Data centers. A data center is basically a giant warehouse. Row after row after row of powerful servers, all running websites, streaming videos, and crunching AI models. And they run 24/7. They get super hot, so you need industrial scale cooling systems. And the result? Electricity demand equaling to whole neighborhoods. A small data center can be 1 to 5 megawatts, like a small town's worth of homes. A medium is like a city block. Microsoft's Columbia Data Center in Washington is a good example. Hyperscale centers can reach 100 to 400 megawatts, which is an entire city's load of electricity in one building. This is the kind of fun information that you get interested in after you play enough city skylines. And when they cluster, like in Northern Virginia or Texas, the grid strains, bills rise, and reliability just plummets. Meanwhile, wages aren't keeping up. From 1979 to 2022, productivity grew 64%, but worker pay only grew 17%. By mid-2025, real earnings are lower than pre-pandemic. Rent and home prices have completely outpaced wages almost everywhere. Families are being priced out of survival. I saw a Zillow listing at $325,000 in LA with 614 square, I'm guessing, athlete's foot. But now let's talk about the little housing trap that everyone has to deal with. A $300,000 loan at 3% costs about $1,265 a month, but at 6%, it's $1,799. That's $500 more for the same house, and that's before the $60,000 down payment. In Florida, insurance can exceed the mortgage. And here's the kicker. Hedge funds and REITs are buying homes in bulk. Invitation Homes, Progress Residential, American Homes for Rent, Tricon, Pretium, Blackstone. They buy up entire neighborhoods. They outbid families with entire cash offers and then turn them into rentals. And what's the result? Rent is often higher than a mortgage would have been. And then the rent also goes up 3 to 7% every single year with no ceiling. Meanwhile, a fixed rate mortgage It stays flat for 30 years and sometimes gets cheaper over time. What this means is not owning a home is actually more expensive long term. So, what does this all tell us? Well, I'm going to borrow a phrase from Mark Twain, and we are living through a new Gilded Age. A president deploying troops into cities he doesn't like, indicting opponents, canceling shows, turning the Rose Garden into some private dining hall for the wealthy and elite, and his one big beautiful bill cuts taxes for the wealthy more than for the middle class, while clamping down on both workers and unions, all while we are still waiting for that mythical Doge check. America, you've been had. And it will only get worse if all you do is chase enemies instead of confronting the system itself. Remember, there are more of us than there are of them. And 2026 comes quickly. And that's it for the day. If you dig the content, make sure you like and subscribe. We're getting closer to releasing more names in those Epstein documents. The U.S. and Israel are complicit in a genocide, and y'all come back now. You hear?